Alright, so for the first one, the real trick to these again, and I've said this time and time again, we all know the rules. It's about knowing when to apply the rule and which rule to apply in what situation. So if we look up there, what can we see that we need to, which rule are we applying for the first one? Product? How do we know we're applying a product rule? Function times function. Now you can do it, there's a few different ways you can represent that. I like to use U and V just because that's how I was taught, but you can use the HX and the GX. So U equals x squared, U dash equals 2x, V equals sine x, V dash equals cos x. Very important that we remember when we're deriving and integrating which one becomes positive, which one becomes negative. I need to write my rule out, so I'm going to do it over here. I'm running out of room. dy dx equals u v dash plus v u dash. Does the order matter? Not for product rule. I need to write this out because I'll probably get a mark for that, I'll get a mark for that, and I'll get a mark for identifying that I'm using the product rule. If this was the question. Cool? I could also just written using the product rule and gone straight into it. Just be aware of how these things are marked. So it's x squared sine x plus 2x cos x. Am I done? Am I done or not? What do I need to do? Yep, make the most simple answer I can, which is x sine x plus 2 cos x with factorised x at the front. That's our final answer. If you did not, I could show you how we'd mark something like this. You get a tick for that, you get a tick for that, you get a tick for that, a tick for that, and a tick for that. 2.5 mark question.
So did you put them together?
Probably.
You did it wrong. UV dash is x squared plus x.
Oh yeah, yeah, thank you. So I'd get no ticks there. Cool. Now I get a tick for that and a tick for that. No, that's for integrating. Important we know which way we're going, and that comes through practice. So second one, what rule am I using here? Chain rule. How do I know I'm using chain rule? Function inside a function. Before I start the problem, I probably do this. What am I about to do?
Turn it into a
Bracket, pair of a half, correct? That's much more valuable to me. If it was the cube root or the quartic root, the number on the bottom changes, correct? The half, because the square root is a pair of a half. Cool. I'm going to let u equal x squared plus 3. Now, unlike this one where I do u dash, I do du dx equals 2x. I do y equals u to the power of a half. dy du equals u to the power of negative a half over 2. Which I'd probably rewrite as 1 on 2 square root u. Cool. Do you see that making it a half just makes that whole step a bit easier? Again, I'm going to come over here because I'm running out of room. My rule is dy dx equals du dx times dy du. And that works out because my du's cancel out, so it makes sense. That's why I like to do that version of the rule. Again, you can use whichever one you'd like. 2x times 1 on 2 square root u. What happens to my 2's? Cancel out. And I'm left with x over the square root of x squared plus 3. Can I simplify that? Can I simplify that or not?
Yeah. You can get rid of it. Square.
Can I get rid of the square? That is my final answer. I cannot simplify that any further. Cool.
Would we get marks if we left the 2's in front of the
Yeah, that's
like 2x?
Yeah, probably. Probably there. If you had 2x over 2, You probably would, but let's not roll the dice and find out we're wrong.
You know,
We can't put the square and the square root together because the plus 3 is there, which changes the whole bracket. It's like if we had x plus 3 squared, that doesn't become x squared plus 9, does it? Same thing, okay, that's why we can't get rid of it.
What can the x plus root 3?
No, that's not right, is it? There's a missing plus 6x, so the same thing applies there. Cool? Not exactly the same, but same principle. So if you're 2 from 2, very good. You can apply and use the chain rule, and you can apply and use the product rule. If that's not you, you should be identifying. So if you got question 1 wrong, in your book, you need to have the word product rule highlighted, circled. Make sure you're aware that the product rule is something you do not know. I can hand on heart guarantee you that's the sort of thing we'd assess in a unit 3 exam. This thing here, if you got this one wrong, chain rule needs a review. Now be careful when I'm saying chain rule. If you made an error in your simplification, or if you made an error like I did, my understanding of the product rule is fine, correct? Where was my error? When I was substituting in doing silly math. Like here, if I left my 2's on top and on the bottom, that's not my error. If I knew my chain rule, but I didn't derive this properly, my error is understanding how to derive roots or fractional powers. Happy with that? Question 3, what rule am I using?
Quotient.
Can you use quotient? I'd use chain personally. You can use product rate, product's fine. I would write this as and then I'd use chain. What's my U? 2x plus 1, du dx equals 2, don't call that all at once. 4 over u dy dx.
So
I should have
is
that.
4 classified as a function?
No,
So you wouldn't use the
just a
function.
coefficient, yeah. You wouldn't, I wouldn't know. And that gives me negative 4u to the negative 2, which again I would write as negative 4 over u squared. And I know that's getting pretty gross because we're pretty tight board space. So dy dx equals du dx times dy du. What do you think I was trying to get you to do here? What do you think I was trying to trick you into thinking? Yeah, ln. I was trying to get you to think that was an ln, but don't worry. None of you fell into that trap, did they? Okay, du dx equals 2 times negative 4 over u squared, which equals negative 8 over, my u was 2x plus 1 squared. Can I simplify that any further? Will it make it any simpler if I expand that? So can I simplify it any further? Nope, very good. I can't take a 2 out, I can't do anything with that, so that's my final answer. Get a tick for that, and a tick for that. Again, another 2-mark question. Cool. So have you got both 2 and 3 wrong? Well, yeah, maybe not 3, depends on how you did 3. You could have used quotient rule, you would have got the same answer. If you did quotient. Cool. Question 4. Oh, God, I'll break this into 2 parts.
You'd use quotient for that one.